Oh, let me hit start.
Don't start, yeah, don't start
Don't
it
start
now.
right now.
We're having such a good time. We're
We
having a
both
ball.
did the same thing.
It's gonna be today's
Oh,
intro.
that's so funny.
My brain has the inability to hear lyrics that I know are like popular lyrics without singing.
Yes. But what cracks me up is we sang the same song. Like we lyricked that to the same song.
All right, dearest gentle listeners. I don't know why we said gentle listeners. It's because it's Bridgerton. There's nothing gentle about us. You are listening to the not gentle Ladies Bridgereton, the talk of the town. We are your effervescent hosts, your neighborhood-friendly Kiwi Tash from Middle-earth, New Zealand.
And Patty, Regency romance enthusiast, currently writing her Survivor era.
Settle down onto your favorite city as we delve into the lives of the elite and illustrious ladies, lords, and royalty of the Tom. This Bridgerton podcast is two friends talking romance, symbolism, Easter eggs, and lilacs. Forget me not! Diving into the connections of our favorite characters. We cover both books, TV series, and notable social media, and therefore will contain spoilers.
Okay, so I just have to say this right here. First of all, we joke about him, but Alice got so excited, I think he just mirrored her. But okay. Dear listeners, let's be honest. Penn is starting to spiral at this party. But even though Lady Whistledown and Eloise are breathing down her neck and her mama is yanking attention away, let's be real, she hasn't lasted this long at a party in years. If ever. We watch as she suffers through the spotlight while others don't seem to care about their public foolishness, which we've already alluded to. What can we learn from all of these clues and charades? The drawing room is where everyone is playing games, and we point out all of them, obvious and not so. Are you ready to go all in and see if we can call a checkmate? Well, are you?
Spustra! Spustra is one of my favorite Greek card games. And you got to call it a Spustra when you've got
Oh my gosh.
Spustra.
They need to make a Bridgerton Cards Against Humanity. I would love it.
That would be phenomenal. Maybe I'll get Steve for one of my Christmas presents years ago. There's a board game called Cards not Cards Against Humanity, just Games.
Yeah, I know. He made it on wood and everything. It was a Harry Potter version of Hitler or something.
Secret Hitler, and he made it into Secret Voldemort. So I'm sure if he did that, I'm quite certain that he could make me a though I would probably want to have an input into the
I think we would have to come up with the phrasing and stuff.
Oh my lord, can you imagine Di and I sitting down to do the not safe for work version cards? They wouldn't be not just safe for work, but they wouldn't be safe for anyone who doesn't have a gutter brain.
Right, we wouldn't be able to post them on the internet. All righty.
I wonder if I could make this. I wonder if I could make this up and put it as a. I wonder if we would get.
We got to call it something different. There's other games out there that are similar to Cards Against Humanity, but they call them. There's a card game on TikTok Shop right now that's very similar in how you play it, but it's called something else, so somebody else can sell it and make the money.
Cards Against the Ladies Bridgerton, because we will lose, and then we could just literally instead of we could do.
It wouldn't just be Bridgerton quotes
when we have guests on. It could be us saying that as well.
I know. We need to have another guest because we haven't done a Bridgerton mash in a while. I love Bridgerton. When I'm over there and Di is there, we're gonna get her in a video doing Bridgerton mash, and I'm gonna put it on you.
FYI, team, Di is flying over for the part 2 release, which I am super excited about. A Kiwi and an Aussie, except I'm actually
She no longer is requiring me to be there. She's already bought her ticket.
I am enough.
You are enough.
I am enough. All right.
Okay, so I'm ready to talk food. Hold on.
Bridgerton news.
Food first, then news.
Roasted garlic, dunking salty things in goo is what makes my dreams come true. Popcorn, pickles, pretzels, Cheetos, salsa, guac, Crystal Cheetos. I'm just stating the hard facts. If you love, give me snacks.
Okay. So I've already eaten most of my food. I had an egg sandwich and an roasted acorn squash for dinner. But I'm super excited. I'm not excited of how I got this snack, but I had to travel for a celebration of life this week. And because of where I traveled, I got to go to Buc-ee's. And pretty much anybody in the US who lives in the southern part of the US knows what Buc-ee's is. It's a huge off the highway gas station, like to the point of you could be at pump 22, which is what I was at, or pump 30 something or pump 50 something. But they also have so much stuff. They make a ton of food. They make their own snacks, all that. And I got Buc-ee's fudge, which I get every time I stop at a Buc-ee's. I love their fudge.
My petrol station has, I think, 9 pumps.
Yeah, normally I've seen 9 or 10, but I pumped my gas at pump 22 at the Buc-ee's in
No one likes you when you're 22.
Richmond, Kentucky. So I've already eaten.
How many states did you drive through?
Pretty much just there's only Kentucky in between Ohio and Tennessee.
Okay. Well, I'm not that good.
It's just Ohio is so big. Like you're in Ohio with stops. It takes me like 7.5 hours. It tells you on GPS you'll get there in 6, but GPS doesn't take into account that you're human and you need to, go to the bathroom or find food.
Yeah.
And maybe walk around a little bit so that your legs don't swell up.
Walk the puppies.
But they had key lime fudge this time, which I'd never tried. That's pretty good.
I did once do a 7.5 drive in one go without stopping because Ezra slept majority of the way. And this is after we did a 4.5-hour hike that day. We had done a total of 67 kilometers, which is I think like about 35 miles so with Ezra on our backs uphill through the wilderness. And
you sound like boomers talking about going to school.
We were just going to the beach, actually. We were just going to the beach. But we got to the last day and I was so done. And Ezra was like actually complying. He was 8 months old. He was complying and he slept majority of the way back. And anytime he stirred, I just elastomummed my boob into his mouth in the car seat and fed him. And my father-in-law was like, I need to wee. And I'm like,
gadget breast.
Yeah. Like, thankfully they are big enough to be able to do that. And my father-in-law was like, I need a pee. And I'm like, no, you don't. Find a bottle you need to. We are not stopping.
Yeah, that's how my dad was with us growing up. We would travel down to Virginia to see our family, and it was like 12-hour drives, and we were only allowed to go to the bathroom one time in the whole 12 hours.
No, we did. I think we did stop for him once, but like,
well, and I've just learned like now I don't recognize my bodily needs at all. But I drove from Colorado. I was moving away from my dad's. I'd gone to live out with him for a while, and that wasn't working out. So I moved home, but I had to drive by myself because my brother drove me out there, but then I had to drive my car home because we had come home for my niece Samantha's first birthday. My dad flew me home. I just didn't go back to the airport. So my brother drove me out to get my car and I drove home literally 24 hours. I only stopped for gas and to go to the bathroom. I did not sleep. As soon as I got home, I slept for a long time, but I did that all by myself. Like that's my flex. Like I'm a long distance driver. I love a good road trip, but anymore with lipedema legs, it's not.
I just got the lipedema.
It's not the same.
Before
like my legs have been so heavy. My legs have been so heavy for the last few days.
Before my little squirrel brain squirrels its acorns off into the corner, can I just say a huge happy birthday to our admin, KK Chips. Thank you for being your wonderful self.
I did have birthday cake fudge I could have eaten on your birthday cake, but I ate it yesterday. So I will eat a different kind of fudge.
It reminds me of that meme, I baked you cookies and I eats did them.
I eats did them. So what? I know you already ate a toasted sandwich earlier. So what's your pod snack?
I had a now I cannot pronounce French to save my life, so I'm going to butcher this, but a croque monsieur?
A croque monsieur.
Croque monsieur. The cheese and ham toasty that has like a bechamel on top. Phenomenal. I was scorching out there though. But
the croque madame has an egg on it too, right?
Yes.
Am I getting that right?
Okay. Yeah, I love the madame, but it was just a croque today. But I have a truly Australian snack today. It is my sugared spearmint leaves.
Again, that's what you ate last week.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, you're still working through them. I will not have this fudge next week, guys. Don't judge me.
Sugar makes my endo and my tummy play up, so I pace myself so that I don't have to pace myself getting to the toilet.
I saved my favorite one to eat while we were talking Bridgerton.
Mm-hmm.
It is the praline pecan one.
Anything praline is like my heaven.
I was so mad because they were doing buy 4 get 2 free, and in the same case as the fudge, they had their praline. They look like cookies, but it's just the candied pralines. Like I was hoping they were part of it because I would have gotten 2 of those, but they were not. So I did not get any of those this time because I was on a budget.
On a budget, so you can come see me.
On a budget because I wasn't planning on attending a funeral out of state.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, first of all, my sister's cool, but two, I'm choosing you. If we raise the money and I can get over there, I'm choosing you. My sister already gave me permission to miss her wedding.
My sister's cool, but not as cool as Tash.
But no, I mean, she's cool because she's not like, what do you mean you're not going to be at my wedding? She goes, yeah, go.
Thanks,
because I'm not going to be in the wedding. I told her I didn't want to be because like I can't stand up there for 20 minutes while somebody, does vows. And
welcome to a Greek wedding where you're standing for 2 hours straight.
Oh yeah, like if I knew you before you got married.
Oh no, I did not do it. I did not. No, I had a 15-minute ceremony. 15 minutes was my limit. Like I think anything longer than that, people are bored. They don't want to be sitting there for that long. Like we're done.
Well,
we're done.
And that's why back in the day when there was a possibility in my mind that, Smaug and I might get married, I wanted to elope because he was Catholic. And I've been to a Catholic wedding and it's long. And I'm like, I don't want. And even then when I had young legs, I didn't want to stand that long. I'm like, I will get bored.
I mean, even if it was my wedding, I'd get bored. Like, I'm done.
My brain
has wandered.
Like, we went to my friend Trinice's wedding and she's Catholic, and she kissed her husband before they kissed the bride because she was so excited and she knew that the dude was going to talk for a long time. It was hilarious. That was the longest, boringest wedding I've ever been to. Love you, Trinice, but it was. And I didn't want to live through one of those. Be the person that everybody's staring at for that one.
Yeah, I get it. All right. Charades!
Well, yeah, because I can't think of any Bridgerton news we have this week.
I mean, Nini is still the sexiest man alive. So aside from that,
he is. And his friends made fun of him for it.
He made fun of himself for it. I love it.
I know, it's great.
In Bridgerton adjacent news.
And some magazine or newspaper posted an article about Bridgerton and totally used not AI.
That was really funny though.
Carl got fired this week from whatever publication that was.
Julia Quinn posted just videos of penguins this week. Videos of penguins. And I'm like, are you giving us subliminal messaging here? Like, is there something that I'm meant to be picking up? Do you just like penguins? What is this, Julia? I need to know.
I don't know. She posted something else this week too that
the little
somebody put in our group.
The little, not kiddie version, what do you call it? Like the cartoonized versions of Bridgerton?
I don't remember. But I do want to say this, like Savvy on TikTok that I've talked about, she's doing a rewatch and some of her analyses. She jumped on the train of what is this Northwest Passage thing look like? And she posted but she actually said she was all about Penn not marrying Debling until she found out that he probably would have died. And we're like, not probably.
He died.
We know he would have. Yeah. Because she figured that would have been the best life for Penelope.
No, that was too low.
That
was a bit too much.
I'm not hungry. I don't need a breast in the car seat.
Got milk?
But they're saying
the boys in the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
She now considers Debling he would have been a viable option because Penelope would have married him, and he would have gained all of that money, the estate, everything else, and he would have gone off and died.
Yeah, but then Paul Colin really would have been a captain, more so.
Oh, for sure, because we already know them Bridgertons. Like, he already sees them as married before they're married. So, yeah, he would have been her mistress. But I love how other people out in the world are being inspired and going down the rabbit hole, which is nice.
Yes.
And actually, I'm going to pull up my notes because before we talk charades, I want to bring up, I was rewatching again today, taking notes, and I noticed something that I wanted to bring up again because it's the second time we see it. The first time we see it is in episode 3 at the hot air balloon event. And we, again, it's your own house.
Yeah.
5-second rule.
Yeah.
Cressida is once again wearing a mixture of her signature color of pink and Penelope's color.
Yellow.
No, she was wearing yellow in the balloon scene. Old Penelope. She is wearing pink with purple, and Penelope is at this engagement party in purple. She's in lavender. So again, Cressida, I see that as when Cressida is wearing the two colors and one of those colors matches Pen, she is in direct competition with Penelope. And like in episode 3, she was in competition for the attention of Lord Debling. But in this episode, she is vying with Pen for Eloise, her attention, because she wants Eloise to help her concoct a plan to not have to marry Lord Greer, but Eloise is so laser focused on putting the screws to Penelope over Lady Whistledown to save her own butt with her brother, not wanting her brother to be mad at her, that she's not focused on Cressida at all. So Cressida is again costumed to be in direct competition with Penelope. And I wanted to point out, I'll point out something in Charades regarding costuming, but I also wanted to say that I noticed there's a lot of like silver. Like we mostly see Violet is starting to wear like lavenders and stuff, but she is in silver. Her dress is fabulous and it's silver.
Well,
Eloise has pink.
I wonder if that silver was kind of a
pre-lilac.
No, not even that. A foreshadowing for next season, the lady in silver being Sophie.
Well, and that's what I think, because this engagement party, like this is the first time Benedict brings,
but Benedict, yes.
Yeah, Benedict brings somebody to a ball. Like he escorts someone granted it's a family function, but it's the first time he's seen in society with a lady on his arm.
I love how I forgot to make haste. My bad. We must make haste in today's episode. We're already hasting in, people. That was our Bridgerton news for the day.
Ladies Bridgerton from 5 minutes ago. Are you ready to make haste? We are. Okay, good.
We make haste. We made so much haste.
We made so much haste we didn't even say we were going to do it.
I have not verified this. I do not know what article it came from. I will try to look it up. But Jonathan Bailey, in one of his interviews that he did, said he has seen episode 1 and he said the fans will be shocked at something that happened. The viewers.
Yeah, he said something else too, and he said, "Can I even say that?" Well, I just did that, which tells me that was a PR.
I don't even know how to look it up. But anyway, basically he did say that there's something that will happen in episode 1 that will shock fans. So I do wonder whether John's going to get killed off really quick into their marriage, because I think episode 1 might have the time jump in it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So if the time jump is in it, because they can't just kill John off like literally straight after the marriage. Like that would have been mere months into their marriage. Like they were married for like, I think 2 years for her to kind of develop those feelings for Michael/Michaela. So I don't know. The more I watch this episode, the more I like John and the bitterer I feel. Like and it's not a Michaela thing. It's just that I feel like they're doing John a disservice. So they're being mean to John and I don't like it. What's wrong?
No, it's a good thing. I just looked up Heartsease.
Oh, okay. All right. Wait. Okay. So Kate shuffles everyone into the room for charades. Now, I find it really interesting that basically 80% of this party has disappeared. Where is everyone else gone?
There's a big group of them at the other end of the drawing room.
Only a few.
There's like 8 to 10.
Like in this room, it's basically just the inner circle, and then there's 3 others. There's 2 older gentlemen and a woman that aren't.
And there's one younger couple, and the girl is in peach. I saw her when Colin was doing his speech, and they're in that group of people at the other end of the drawing room when they pan the.
No, but in the charades game.
Oh,
like
yeah.
In the charades game,
it's
no
just outsiders.
It's just, no, there are other 3. It is an old guy I'd guesstimate like 70 odd, and his wife looks to be about 20, the mixed couple. Like he's an old white dude.
Yeah, the same guy that was listening the first time John tried to tell the story of the boot.
Yes.
Yeah.
His wife is stunning, by the way, absolutely stunning. But she doesn't seem unhappy at the match. Like they seem like, even though he's an old dude and she's young and beautiful, like they seem to get along, and he seems to talk to her kindly, I guess. So there's
and they have a match like that in there to show that it is quite common, you know, because Cressida is trying to avoid it, but it was a common practice back then. If your daughter didn't find a match in the first or second season, and you start wondering if they're going to, and you have friends, you marry them off.
Yeah. And I think it was also to prove that not all marriages of that sort end in unhappiness.
Well, if we remember in Emma, which was brought up in episode 1, Mr. Knightley was in his 30s and Emma was like 19 young. Or 20.
And a lot of people were very opposed to that. And I'm like, it was a different time. Like, because even Anthony was 30, 29?
He was 29 going on 30, but
about to marry Edwina, who was 17, 18.
Probably
Edwina was not 20. She was not in her 20s.
Well, no, but she would have been like 19 or 20 probably, because they needed a sponsor. And like, I doubt she came out, and that's why she wasn't at the debut, probably, because she didn't come out when 18. She should have.
Yeah. I think she was 18, so I think she was on the older end of when you debut, but still within the realms. Otherwise, there would have been more scandal about the fact that she's 19, like Cressida and.
Because I think Kate would have had to convince her mother to have her come out in Mayfair instead of finding someone in India. So I mean, Anthony 30, Kate 18. I digress. Well, in the books too, Simon was 30 and Daphne was 20. She was in her third year. 20 or 21. Like there was a 9-year dip them.
There was a 10-year difference between my grandparents, but that was again normal.
I just saw a girl on TikTok who wrote a story about how she had a crush on Hugh Laurie and David Tennant, and she's like, they're old enough to be my dad, but
I mean, same. Like fair, madly in love with David Tennant. And Hugh Laurie just has
I had a huge crush on Colin Firth. Okay. Yeah, and he's like 20, man.
All right. Okay. So now that we've talked about old people, we've talked about gravy boats.
We haven't talked about gravy boats.
Well, I talked about toileting enough that there was gravy boats involved.
That's where half of this party went. They're standing in line for
the gravy boats.
The gravy boats.
Could you pass the gravy?
That's where they are.
No.
And again, I know we're probably not going to talk about it, but Penn rushes off in her anxiety to the dining room. I still think it would have been funny to hear a man urinate.
Yeah.
Now that I know.
So Anthony is explaining the rules, the Bridgerton rules for charades, because let's be real, I reckon the Bridgertons are the biggest set of cheaters out there. And when I say like, okay, so my family cheats a game, but not if there is an outsider, because we still like to play fair, but not against each other, if that makes sense at all. So it's like a cheater's game of cheating when it's just Matt's eye, if you will.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Okay, Bridgerton rules is whoever gets it right gets to take a turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that rule was made up because of Eloise, who doesn't understand why people don't think the way she does.
Yes.
And she thinks, well, if I got it right, I should get to go next. I think Bridgerton rules were made to appease a little ADHD Eloise, because I was that kid, like, I won, like, I should get to be next. And they're like, but so-and-so needs a turn. I'm like, then they should have answered the question.
Was I in the car last week when I got the question right? And then they were like, all right, it's such and such a turn. And I'm like, but I got it right. It's fine.
Don't take away my dopamine of getting it right. I want to be rewarded. My family hates playing trivia with me.
Stephen refuses to play
reason.
Stephen will not play anything that involves word games with me. Like,
oh yeah, my family hates any kind of trivia with me, and it doesn't even matter. Like Trivial Pursuit, it doesn't even matter if I suck at sports and whatever. Like I kick butt in other areas.
Yeah, I suck at sports and geography. Everything else, I excel at. They know that those are the areas that they'll catch up on me. I'm like, it's fair. I don't know any of those ones. So, all right. So I very much understand, why they have the Bridgerton rules, because Bridgertons are so incredibly competitive that I think, and they don't cheat per se. They just know how to make the game more difficult for each other. And they will happily lose as long as they take a sibling down with them. So
Yes.
I think that it was probably Edmund and Violet who came up with the rules more so than the children, because they were like, we have so many kids that this is going to end up in full-blown fistfights if we do not manage these children.
But I mean, think about a Bridgerton game of charades in the past. It would have been like Eloise, Daphne, Eloise, Benedict, Eloise, Francesca, Eloise. That's how it would go.
I feel like Francesca would have known most of the answers, but won't say them.
But too afraid to say it,
Because one, she doesn't want to say it, and two, she wants other people to have a chance, unlike Eloise, because she's more observant than Eloise and not more attuned to her family, but like she's quite happy to sit back and watch.
And she doesn't want to go stand up in front of everyone either.
She's happy to be a participant, not like an observer more than a participant.
And I will say that's the thing, like right here is where I think Kate made a misstep in her role as Viscountess. Like, yes, she's reminding everyone that it's Penelope's night and Penelope gets to go first. But Penelope just got in Penelope's heart, she just struggled through public humiliation.
Yes.
And now she's got to stand up in front of everyone again.
And you can see it in her. She's like, oh, this is something that I excel at, and I absolutely do not want to do this. This is my idea of hell.
Like, if it would have started with anyone
She's
else,
like, can I phone a friend?
Guessed first. Yeah, if she could have guessed first, I think that would have been better because she would have won her place.
Yes.
But because she was just given that place, and that's so odd for her, she was just like, ick. And she was not ready to leave her emotional support Colin. Like, she practically sat in his lap.
And if Kate had kind of looked at Penelope at all, you could see that she was like a big ball of anxiety. And speaking of sitting in laps, I want to bring up something else. In the background, Violet is inappropriately attached to Lord Anderson, and I'm quite certain that you were not supposed to be so forward in public, let alone with a husband that was not your husband. A man that was not your husband. Like, she is like clutched onto his arm.
And they're pretending to play the game, but they're not paying attention at all. They are just talking to each other. They're like two teenagers. Come on, Violet. Right.
And I'm like, you are literally just sitting here having your first date in front of all your children, his sister, his potential niece and nephew over in the corner.
Yeah, and Anthony is not even paying attention. Which surprises me.
This whole episode is like a whole ball of surprises. I think he feels so awkward about it, and he's like, I think he's like, if I don't
that's
look
what
at
I was like, when I was talking about everybody's playing games, Violet and Lord Anderson were playing like 7 Minutes in Heaven, but in front of everyone, and nobody was paying attention.
And in the book, Violet goes to the masquerade party and she dances with a man. And two of the sons, being Benedict and Colin, kind of lose their shit over it. And they are like, it is so lucky that Anthony is not here, because he would strong arm his way to the man and be like, back off, that's my mum.
Which he tried to do at the wedding. And Kate booped him on the nose.
Which is the exact wording that he would have used in definitely, like, that's 1800 speak. Back off, dude. Yeah. That's my mum.
Or stand down, sir. Step away from the mother. I don't care if she's wearing a pretty dress.
Get the paws off.
And I wanted to point out another costuming thing that's brief.
Yeah.
Everybody is wearing like a sweetheart neckline, like the plunging, like, don't my boobs look great neckline, except for Violet and Francesca. They are wearing the straight across princess cut or whatever that is. The square
flattering
neckline.
On no one.
It covers the boobs, and it surprises me that Violet, who's been showing hers off for a while now,
this sounds weird, but I don't think I've ever seen Francesca's boobs.
No.
She's always incredibly modest.
She's incredibly modest and demure. But Violet surprised me, because even Lady Danbury's wearing a sweetheart neckline, and Violet is cut straight across. And I wonder if she chose the dress she did. One, it's to show how Fran and Violet are similar. Like, Violet is watching her because she is who she was when she was young. But also she wanted to dress a little more demurely because she officially invited Marcus into her home.
And now she's back to being a debutante.
Yeah. And she's like, oop, can't show that much. I'll be looking like a tart.
Big fan of a lemon tart pastel.
Oh, yeah. Lemon key lime tarts are really good.
Oh, I just had I lie. I also had another snack, not just that Emily and I shared half of a Louise, I think it was. It's almost like a lemon meringue pie, except I feel like the curd was a little bit thicker. And then the meringue on top, instead of it being like a traditional, like big poofed up, it's like a crunchy meringue, more like a pavlova meringue. It was really good. And it had coconut in it too. I know. But it was very hot, so it was very refreshing.
You might as well have just shown me a bloody stump.
Patty's like, rocks look more appealing than that.
I'd rather eat a rock than coconut, yes.
So where am I up to? Yeah, it's just super inappropriate. Like, it's wild to me the way that Violet is acting. I mean, it's nice for her. It is nice for her to feel giddy again. But she is acting a certain sort of way. But then when we see her daughter acting the same sort of way, she's like, no, it's not love. But she's acting differently with
But in the second story, about the boots, she does notice that Fran is just looking at him all doe-eyed, and she's like,
and then she goes back again.
Yeah.
So okay.
She's vibes. I don't think she doesn't think that Francesca loves him. I just think she has this intuition that this isn't it, that there's more.
And what if John had never died? Francesca would have never, ever cheated on John with Michael.
No, but they're playing it off like they're making this a character trait of Violet's, that she's very intuitive, almost precognition.
No, like, it just annoys
like
me.
She has premonitions or something.
Because Violet didn't feel that way about John in the books. They are only setting this up because they know he's going to die. But they're setting it up in a way that just completely derails the love story that they had, which was pure and honest. Yes, come on, let's be real.
But they're choosing to make Francesca full on lesbian rather than bisexual. Yes. So they have to make it look like she thinks she's in love, but she's not. There's something missing, which is annoying me. Like, you can in a it's season like, oh, where
we've already made a Benedict a bisexual, therefore we have to make this one gay.
But Benedict is polyamorous. That's not the same thing as bisexual.
So you can still collect them all, Jess Brannell. Gotta catch them all. Bisexual.
The LGBTQIA Infinity Stone.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you want to make the characters
but again, I mean,
gay,
I just think it's missed opportunity.
I don't mind. I just don't like them being mean to John. Don't be mean to John. We stand a John, okay? I'm very defensive.
Don't introduce us to John. Don't give us John if you're just going to deflower their romance. Because, it's sad.
So one of my favorite lines from this whole season is in this scene. Alice starts musing out that it might be a flower of some kind. And I love that Anthony, always keen to win at any cost, starts yelling about flowers. Lilacs, lilies, forget-me-nots. Sorry, it goes lilies, forget-me-nots, then lilacs. This scene reminded me of the races and how, like, I was kind of surprised not to see Kate, like, looking over at him like, that's my man, because it just reminded me of that competitive nature that he has, like that day at the races where they're, like, screaming over these horses, like, gotta win.
No, but she's frustrated because she's trying to think and he's screaming in her ear, and she's so, like, frustrated with him. It's hilarious.
She's got baby brain going on, like, nothing's coming to her anyway. But I love that Benedict physically cringes at his brother's intensity. He's like
not just Benedict, Colin does too. They're like,
Benedict makes a sound as he physically recoils from Jesus. That is just too much.
He shushes him. He's like, shh.
Benedict's like, we just went through this absolute embarrassment outside where I didn't know whether I needed to drink more or less, and now you're doing this to me in here. He's like, my family are too much. Like, if this is
I'm not bringing a woman around again.
Benedict's like, if this is how I'm feeling, like, how is Francesca handling this? Like, poor John's in the corner, like, oh my Lord.
Francesca and John are all the way at the other end of the drawing room in the corner. They are not even part of this game.
No, because like John would know all the answers, and he's like, I'm just gonna sit and watch, and I'll just whisper them to you. That's how they would just sit and play the game to themselves and just whisper the answers backwards and forwards, and it'd be really cute. And you wish we kind of got that scene. That would have been a really cute addition.
There's a lot that could have been done with this whole engagement party.
Yes, but I digress. Eloise then
Are we
gets
at
the answers.
Heartsease yet?
Yeah, I don't. Is it the first one? No, it's not the first one.
Yeah,
Eloise gets
Heartsease is the first.
Heartsease is the first one. Okay, Eloise gets the answer correct. What is the answer?
It's Heartsease, and I looked it up, and it literally almost made me tear up because I know all of these answers have to
Correlate to some
be
kind
indicative
of meaning.
of indicative of something, and adding in Heartsease like kind of confuses it because you really think because it's Eloise and Penelope going back and forth that, and one of the answers is friendship, and
Yes,
conundrum, which is just
they're in a
puzzle you're
conundrum.
piecing
Yeah.
out. That I assumed it was them, but Heartsease, and Heartsease could play in as well because of Colin. Heartsease, also called Viola tricolor, sometimes called the Johnny Jump Up, is actually an herb, a flowering herb. It is in 3 colors. That's why it's called a tricolor. And those colors are purple, yellow, and white. So I think that those are all, they all play into Penelope. Like she is wearing more purple lavender this season. And I mean, white is just off color, but she wears yellow. So I think if it plays into the 3 of them as well, being 3 colors. And this herb is rich in folklore, and here's where it gets good. In both Greek and Roman mythology, Heartsease was associated with love. The Romans believed that Cupid, the god of desire, hit the flower of the tricolor with its arrow by mistake, causing the white flower to become tricolored and the juice to become a love potion. A Greek legend tells of the love that Eros had for the white flowers, and Aphrodite, being jealous of his love for the flower, turned it into the 3 colors to stop his love. And Christians believe the 3 colors symbolize the Holy Trinity, which now I've always called the Queen, Whistledown, and Danbury the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
So I think that Heartsease here is indicative of 2 different friendships, we'll say. Colin, Penn, and Eloise as a triad, and then Cressida, Eloise, and Penn, because that's the 2 dynamics really going on in this scene. And the flower, the way the flower is 2 petals are on top and 1 is on the bottom. So it's like 2 people are together in those triangles, and someone is always a 3rd wheel. So I found that pretty interesting.
Well, I think Cressida goes this evening thinking Penelope's the 3rd wheel, and then realizes after all that.
And it's also interesting that this flower there's different versions of it. And it can be an annual or a biennial and a short-lived perennial. It reseeds itself and it thrives in cooler weather. So it's for being as delicate as it is a pretty strong plant. It's probably would be if Debling's fern and the sunflower had a
I love that you managed to tie in Eros. Well, not tie it, like that you found that
I didn't
out.
tie it in. It was there. I was so excited.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So Eloise gets her answer correct, no surprises, and starts to read out the next clue. I love watching people's reactions in the scene. Like, Cressida just looks back. But to be fair, I don't actually think that Cressida, like, she's trying. Cressida has 2 sides to her. I think she is ditzy, but I don't think she's as dumb as what people make her out to be. I think she just is ditzy, because I actually think that part of the reason why she's baffled is because she keeps trying to think through the answers, but her brain keeps going back to, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to get out of this?
Well, and I just also think she just doesn't process as quickly as Penelope and Eloise does. She's smart, but she doesn't process quickly.
Her kind of intelligence comes in the form of, and it sounds mean, but like the form of manipulation. How to bully people, manipulate people into what she wants, but not in the book intelligence like Penelope. And this is what I say, everyone is intelligent in their own way.
Yeah, and like Portia's intelligent, but hers is, in manipulation and whatever too, but she's quick-witted. She thinks on her feet, and Cressida really has to think through things for a while.
Portia, I feel like her animagus would be like some sort of like sewer rat or something. Like, she knows how to get herself out of the most precarious of situations. Like, she is slippery. She knows how to get out of anything, any situation, and crawl into any hole that you think, no, there's no way they can fit in there. And she does. every time.
Mice can flatten get as long as they can fit their nose in, they can get it.
Didn't I say rat? Like, well,
You
like
said a rat.
mice.
That's bigger.
Okay, mouse.
That's why you get field mice in your house and you think
Yes.
you don't have any cracks. If their nose fits, they fit.
Yeah.
Which I hate
Yes.
mice, and you can hear it in my voice. Like they're the bane of my existence.
I had one in our house when I didn't want my dad to kill it, so I convinced him to let me release it, and while I was trying to release it, it bit me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was traumatized growing up. We lived on a farm and we backed up to woods. So they were in our house all the time. Like I had them run over my foot while I was going to the bathroom and stuff like that.
Aww.
Or the worst one was like my mom needed a sweet and low for her coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked me to reach up in the cabinet and get her a sweet and low. And it popped out of the sweet and low box when I was reaching up. So I'm traumatized.
Can I get you one of these? What would you like? I'm here to help.
I am literally that person that will not put my feet on the floor if I know there's a mouse.
Yeah,
I won't do it.
I just don't feel like you would survive Australia very well. Cressida
survive a what?
Australia. Cressida. You wouldn't survive Cressida. Australia.
Probably.
So Cressida looks baffled, like she doesn't even understand a word that Eloise is saying. Anthony looks ready to start shouting out new answers as soon as someone gives him a clue. Kate starts competing against her husband, but more quietly. Lady Tilly and Benedict just look like they are enjoying watching the mess unfurl, and Alice is also surprisingly getting into it. Like I love people watching, and this is a scene where you get to see so many different personalities, and that's why I like the Paul Mall. I like the charades. I like where you get to watch people's kind of true intentions come out when there's a competitive nature.
Yeah, and I love that even though it's very faux pas for Colin and Penn to be sitting as close and holding hands like
everyone's
they are.
way too distracted to care.
But Will and Alice are also sitting close, and like he's had his hand on her knee and they've held hands in the seat. Like they're being just as close. So it's fitting.
And I feel like Will and Alice is because they're both going through a lot of emotional upheaval at the moment as well, which we'll talk about a little bit later as well. But I feel like Will and Alice holding each other's hands right now is like, I'm here for you. Like we're doing this together. We are a partnership. That's sort of like, I know that this isn't, we're not like doing what we're supposed to.
After John botches the boot story, and then Colin goes to tell the speech. It's him and Penn standing there with John and Francesca. So Francesca led John over to Colin, who is, emotional support Colin. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, it's okay. You messed up that, you're trying to tell him. And I'm sure Colin was the one who says, wait until all the weird people are gone. Just talk to my mom and Anthony and Kate.
Benedict's like, just throw rocks at them.
But I love that, like, Colin is support for John. Like, you can see their friendship forming before the club starts. And that Will and Alice are, I think Will and Alice and Colin and Penn are going to be like, the four top for whist kind of thing. Like, they're going to be the bridge club. Like, we're going to go over to I feel like and play bridge.
I feel like out of all the siblings, Daphne would probably consider hanging out. Like, when you got to pick a sibling to go have a double date with, I think that they would choose Penelope and Colin because they are the least loud, obnoxious, least judgy. Well, I mean, Penelope's Lady Whistledown, but she's not judgy of those she loves. She's just judgy of people doing faux pas all the time.
Well, she's not even judgy. She speaks the truth and she speaks what she hears. So she's not judging. She's just reporting like she's a newspaper reporter.
But I still
she's
think
just
that
writing it with a flourish.
I still think that John and Fran would consider them to be the safest couple.
Oh, yeah. I think Will and Alice do too. Benedict is not because he's not
followed by Sophie. Followed by Sophie and Benedict. But I feel like Sophie's got such a strong mind that she will berate Benedict in public openly quite often. And sometimes
I find it funny too that Benedict helped them at their first outing into the ton, but Will and Alice kind of avoid him while he's got Tilly. Like they don't ever walk up. You never see them close together.
I wonder whether it's because they don't know the rules of the ton, so they do not know how to interact. So they're like, we don't want to make a mess of it, so we're just going to avoid it.
Well, they're in their family home. Thoughts. Like Benedict would be able to make introductions.
Anyway,
I kind of think with Will coming from being a club owner and the things you overhear, I just think he knows a little bit about Tilly. He has some inside info, and he's just like, yeah, that's too messy for us. Let's not go there.
Mm-hmm. So we've got all these different people all kind of trying to get into this clue, and Penelope almost shyly gives the answer, as if she doesn't want to be right, because then Eloise has to acknowledge her, but she also can't stand to not say the right answer when she has it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and especially when it's against Eloise, because those girls, I think that something like Charades is the one time that Penelope in the past has been able to compete against Eloise and actually be on equal footing, rather than everything always just be Eloise's way.
Mm-hmm.
But now Penelope's like, how's this going to go? Am I antagonizing her?
Well, and she's seen all these other people trying. So I think she didn't want to give the answer right away just in case somebody got it. And she was a little, but after she saw Eloise shoot Cressida down on the next clue, like she ends up shooting Cressida down when they're talking about Whistledown. Like
Cressida finally tries to join in and gets immediately cut off by Eloise, saying why she's wrong and what the answer actually is. Like, oh, my sweet summer child, you couldn't be more wrong. Like,
yeah,
Eloise
she says
is
it like it's so obvious.
It's condescending.
So obvious. Yeah.
Which I think then plays into the fight that they have later on, because I think she is realizing that Eloise has been condescending to her for a long time. And Eloise is just, I don't think Eloise even realizes it's condescending, because she's like, I'm just speaking fact over here. What's there to be upset about? If you're stupid, you're stupid. I'm not calling you stupid, but if it's a fact, like,
yeah. And I think that like Colin hasn't really, he's been like supporting Penn, like, look at my girl, she's so smart, up until the friendship clue, because it's venture 4, venture in. Like, he feels like he should have known that. And you see him start trying, because then Penelope goes to give the answer and she's looking at him like, I don't want to give it because you look like you want to. Like, I don't want to emasculate my
I don't want to steal your limelight if you've got it. So the answer to that round is friendship. And Eloise and Penn give each other a look. And I do sort of wonder whether the game is reminding Eloise of just how intellectually well matched that they are, and part of what made them such good friends. Like, they were a good balance to each other. And I think Eloise knows it too, and that there is no other Penelope out there. Like, people are not replaceable.
But I also think that she's kind of angry that they also can read each other so well, that just because it's almost like, because it's them giving it, because look, once Will gets the answer right and then he reads it, they're not getting the answers quickly. Now, they could be just not answering, but I feel like it's kind of that communication method that friends have, where, like, if you and I were playing like past, against, like, I think we would have clues because we're friends. And now, granted, these charades are written out already in a book, but being that they're friends, the way they communicate is what's giving them the answer in a quicker way almost. Because like, I've played Taboo, and I was on a team with a very good friend of mine at the time, and everybody was mad. Like, how did you get that word from what she said? And it's like, because that's an inside joke with us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I kind of feel like just because of their closeness, they were able to get so many answers off each other.
We have a one called
that's
Code Names that we play in our family a lot, and that one's probably the most competitive game in our family, because it does
play catchphrase. Have you ever played catchphrase?
I don't.
It's got a buzzer thing to it that you hold, and it pops words, and you have to give the clues. Like, one person gives the clues and the rest of your team tries to guess, and you got to try and get as many words, and you pass it to the other person on the other team that's your counterpart. And every time, like, you get a word, pass it to them, and whoever's holding it, when it buzzes, that team loses that round.
We have another game like that called Monica's, and we're playing this, and I'm gonna say 8 to 9 months pregnant, out at a bar. I'm obviously just drinking like lemon lime bitters. And the first round is you've got to get them to say the word without using the word. Like, you can describe it any way, but you can't say the word. The second round is you've got to act it out. The third round is you can give one word clue and they've got to get that word. So my answer is my thing that I've got to get people to get was the female orgasm. But it was like the female orgasm by, like, it was like this whole thing. So here I am out in public, 9 months pregnant. And people are looking around and laughing because like we're at a board game. It's called Dice
Is this
and
the
Slice.
one you have to act out?
Yeah.
Classic.
Because we're out in public and I'm notably heavily pregnant. Thankfully, it's a board game shop, so people knew it was like something to do with the board game, but like it was really inappropriate.
That's awesome.
Back to the charades. Awesome. Today is going to be, I mean, I have slept 8 hours. I am actually not tired from lack of sleep today. I'm just tired from life. I'm not.
Hard from life this week, yeah.
No, I'm actually not because my husband got a decided telling off about his lack of housework and he is in suck up mode. So I'm feeling replenished this week. Replenished.
You know it's visible, folks, when your kid calls you out. That's all.
Your kid and your bonus kid.
Funny.
Okay. Riding horses. No.
So I'm trying to think like
Lady Tilly then questions if anyone else gets to play, and Benedict kind of explains that there is history between these two, and Colin remarks how hopefully it will be finally be settled. Like whether he means through this game or just through the engagement, like hopefully with me marrying Penelope, like it's just going to force Eloise to get over it. Like I think he knows his sister well enough to know that at this point she's just being petty to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Like
sorry.
Smog.
Yeah, I got another 2-state picture.
Oh, I like it. Do the split.
It runs through the amusement park there. He took his bonus nephew.
Cute. The one that he got the pass for?
Mm.
The one that he got the pass for, the season pass?
Yeah. Why don't you make it obvious that I talk about him a lot? I don't know who's listening. I'm kidding. I don't fuck.
Smog, I know your toileting schedule at this point.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Exactly. I love it. The whole world knows I love this man.
Okay. Yeah.
It is what it is.
I don't know whether Colin's kind of like being a little bit ambitious and thinking that this game could be solved. This fight could be solved with one board game. But I mean, to be fair,
I think he's just starting to hit the snark though, because Penn's anxiety is getting to him. Yeah.
Like board games can make or break a friendship, honestly.
I think he's mad at Eloise for how Eloise is treating Penn. I think he thinks all of Penn's anxiety is because of how Eloise is treating Penn. And I think he's starting to get angry. And when Colin gets uncomfortable, he starts getting sarcastic and, kind of using sarcastic humor and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. He's like, who could possibly create storm clouds over my little sunshine? I will swat you away. I've got out my fan. I'm blowing. Blow away the storm clouds.
Like, I'm surprised when Eloise sat next to him, he didn't cover her mouth so she couldn't answer. Like,
shut it.
Let Penn have her moment. Just let her have her moment.
Yes. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he doesn't step in when he does. But I mean, actually he does. But anyway, Hyacinth and Gregory enter the room and Will and Alice start discussing their children. So I'm like, here's Hyacinth Gregory. Where's little, not Willie, not Billy, not Chili?
Standing in line for the gravy boat. They're like, okay, well, you're in this long line. We will go down and get the chess set.
Yeah. So Alice is telling Will a story about their daughter riding a horse, but you can very much tell that yet again, she's using this as a metaphor. And it's actually meant for Will to manage him to do what she wants. Like, yes. Like at some point, I feel like you're kind of beating a dead horse. Like, we get it.
She's playing her own game of charades.
She very much is. And I feel like she gets this from Lady Danbury. The overly managing behavior, I feel like, is just yet another clue to tell us that this is Lady Danbury 2.0. Like, they are both managing
and watching
mamas.
her do this in Violet's house, like, I think it runs a fam.
Well, exactly, because we see how many times do we see Lady Danbury managing her husband without him ever realizing she is the lioness who turns the neck, like very much so. And Alice has got that in spades. Like every single opportunity she has to guilt Will into being like, hey, you're being a shitty dad because you're not being there.
She's just like, all I could think was, I wish your father was here to see this.
As if he's dead.
And that was you this week.
Yeah.
Ezra, I wish your father was here to help me. When he's right in the next room. I dare you to Alice Mondrick him this week then.
Oh,
And
he doesn't
record
even
it.
need it. He's well aware of the mood.
I just would have loved to hear it. I think it would be funny.
Do the bloodies, or I will start being Greek and smash them.
Oh yeah, he don't want you to be full on Greek.
Nope,
Sure.
nope. No plates were
I
harmed
always
in the
say like,
making.
don't make me bring out my Irish.
So the scene then cuts back over to Violet and Marcus. Okay, so
And now he's getting her drink.
no. I found an issue with this episode. A big
Editing.
issue. Yes.
There's a huge editing issue right here.
There's a huge glitch. So at 47:27, and I tried so many times last night to pause it on the right spot. Right when Marcus says, I'll get us a drink, the screen cuts to a different scene and then cuts back to the main scene. And I tried so hard to pause it on the right spot to get a screenshot. Could not for the life of me. But if any of our listeners out there are better with a pause button than me, because it's like a microsecond that it splits. But I don't know why I never noticed it before this episode. Like, probably because a lot of the time I don't have it open.
Well, and I think there's an editing issue there anyway, because so Eloise wins the round and she goes up, right?
Yes. And then it cuts to like a whole different.
And then the kids come in and Will and Alice are off talking. Now,
Yes.
in the background for sound, you hear clapping like somebody got the answer right. But then they finish talking and you see they cut to Violet and Lord Anderson with the drink. And you even see in the background that Will gets the answer right from Eloise, and he walks up to take his turn. But he was just out in the foyer area.
Yeah, having a conversation.
Watching the kids, having a conversation. And now all of a sudden, and for me, in an episode called TikTok, in a season where they used Benedict antics and shenanigans as a clock for the passage of time, there is nothing here to indicate passage of time. We don't see Penn looking at a clock here. Nothing in between any of this to show that time has passed until her anxiety hits her and she looks at the clock and then she leaves. So it's safe for us to assume that the game continues and they just step out for a second, but they should have had somebody else win. I think that is an editing issue. I think that was an editing mistake. And like you said, there's a screenshot there of a
whole different
rando scene. Go back. Yeah. So I think there was an editing issue there, and they were trying to cut it in such a way, but nobody caught that Will couldn't be having a conversation but outside of that room and then answer.
But in a series that has a incredible budget, and I do mean incredible budget, and for the fact that they take like pretty much an entire year of editing, I'm sorry, but like that's a pretty big stuff up for a like a grade A TV show, like a top tier TV show.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, when I went through IMDb before and I was looking to see who was credited for the technical stuff, editing, there's almost a different person every episode or a couple people for every 2 episodes, but there's only one editor per episode, maybe 2. But when you click on them and you look at their work, they don't have very much. So they are learning on Bridgerton, which Shonda Rhimes likes to give people their start.
But that's how did that pass? Yes. How did that pass the test, to be honest? Like, that's a big stuff up.
Well, we've had this conversation before. Your average viewer believes the words that comes out of every character's mouth. They verbatim, what they say is what they mean, not looking at facial expression or anything else, not looking at the symbolism of the costumes or positioning of people in a room. Like, once Violet starts acting inappropriately with Lord Anderson, she and Danbury are not together until when Anthony and Kate are going to announce stuff. So, but yeah, this was that's on my notes. It's a huge editing issue. Have you checked
the oven? It smells ready. I gave Emily my quiche recipe, and I'm down the other side of the house, and I'm like, it's ready.
I cook by smell all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even know.
Like, how do you do that?
I'm down the other side of the house. I have no idea if the quiche was even in the oven. It's ready. Okay. The game continues with Will reading out his question. Everyone's looking to have everyone's looking to have fun. This is not a Benedict scene. Everyone looks to be having fun except for Eloise, who looks extremely unhappy, as does Penelope across the room. Portia, who's now getting on board with the Antony antics, yells out, "Rainbow!"
And then covers her mouth with her finger like, oops.
Yeah. She's like, oh, that's a bit uncouth of me. Like, it's bad when even she's aware that it's bad. The way that she says it definitely reminded me of Antony. Like, if you don't shout it, someone else is going to do it before you. Like, gotta get in.
Well, and she's incorporating herself into the family as much as she doesn't want to. And this is what I'm saying, like, as much as she doesn't want to incorporate with the Bridgertons because of what she thinks they are, she's finding out that they're messy too, right? Well, in their own way.
And this is a scene where we almost have Benedict. Sorry, you go.
I have a lot.
Okay, I'll quickly.
I want to talk about the clue and why this clue is separate from the other ones.
Okay, so the reason why I think, like, what's surprising me is Benedict almost seems like he's judging his family for being so uncouth. But to me, the sign of a really good games night is where you pull people's personalities out that you rarely get to see and get everyone that engaged, where people are shouting out and they're excited and they're competitive and they're silly. And I really wish that Penelope got this moment where she wasn't stressed, because I think even though she is not that type, I think she would enjoy seeing people so, like, because the ton is so controlled at all times. You have to control your behavior, how you dress, how you look, what you're wearing. Everything is always so controlled. But in a game like this, they're just themselves.
Yes, but I think you just hit the nail on the head of how the show is going to make the other Pall Mall epilogue happen, where Penelope doesn't play. Like, she's so embarrassed and she's so, like, upset with being in the middle of a Bridgerton competition that when they do, if they do play Pall Mall again and we get to see her and Colin, like, clues from the sidelines, baseball style, that she bows out because she's like, I just can't do that again.
Just like just like Francesca, I think Penelope enjoys being an observer rather than a participant. As long as people will acknowledge her.
And retroing back to Benedict, every time we've seen the family be competitive, but Benedict rarely is. Even when they're fencing, he's not giving it his all, with Benedict. Benedict says he is, but I think that was in jest.
Benedict holds back a lot in life, actually.
And in Pall Mall, he's not playing competitively at all. Like, he doesn't play to win. And I think that's because he has so many other competitive siblings. And I think that's what he's rolling his eyes at here, is like, oh my gosh, Tilly is just seeing these people act like animals.
The funny thing is I feel like Tilly would be all about it.
I do too. But I want to talk about Rainbow as a clue because it doesn't fit in. It doesn't fit in with the other clues. They separate it. And I think, editing issues aside, I think the choice to separate it from the other clues of the game is important, because this clue does not have to do with the triangles of friendship and whatnot that the first clues had to do with. If you look at the clue itself, it says, like, my first wettens the wilds of spring or something, and brings new life. Okay.
It made me think of Wet Your Wick.
Yeah. But that's, wettens the wilds and quote unquote brings new life. And that plays into Wet Your Wick with how I think this reads. Yeah. The second one was, it adorns a young lady's hair until she is wed. And then my whole, you find at the end of it, you find an ending to years of strife.
Wait, do we have the same thought? Because the whole part made me think of Benedict.
Okay, so
he finds the hole.
I think Portia getting this answer. I think Portia getting this answer. If you look at the three parts of the clue, it wettens the wilds and brings new life. She needs a new life. She needs a male heir to keep Featherington Estate, right? Then the bows adorn the hair of a young lady until she's married. She's at the engagement party of her last daughter, who will be the one who has the male heir. And then the last part is at my end, ends years of strife. what's at the end of a rainbow? Pot of gold. So she's also gaining, with Penelope being there, she's gaining Whistledown's money too, and they're going to be rich. So I think all that plays into Portia, but I also want to say something about the bow part, because I was thinking about this and I looked. A bow adorning a young lady's hair until she's married.
Mm-hmm.
So of the debutantes that we know at this party, the unmarried
Eloise is always adorned in bows. Always.
Eloise has a bow in her hair. Penelope has 3 bows in her hair.
Yes.
Francesca has, it's not a bow. It's in the, could be considered the shape of a bow, but I don't think so. It's like some clip that's like sparkly.
Yeah.
Holding her chignon together. Chignon, however you say that.
Yeah, chignon.
Cressida has a bow, but Penelope's are temporary. They can come out of her hair. Eloise's temporary. It can come out of her hair. Francesca's temporary. It can come out of her hair. Cressida's is permanent. It is her hair. So I think that's a clue. Cressida's not. She's going to be an old maid. She's going to be a spinster because her bow is fixed.
But you also just kind of made me think out like a interesting little thought pattern. You know how we were talking about how who in the ton they could make queer and people would be all for it. I actually could vibe with Portia having her love match be in the form of like a Lady Tilly kind of a situation.
I mean, I could see that because she looks down on men so much.
Yeah.
But she's also not experienced a man. Like, you see Portia change over the course of this season just watching Colin love her daughter. Like, being exposed to that kind of man changes Portia also. Like, there is a man who will provide for a woman. There is a man who will protect his woman. There is a man who stands by his word. Everything her husband didn't do, nothing she's seen in. Now, we know Danke and Finch are stellar men, but they don't bring fortune and they cannot provide in the ways she would want. So she looks down on them. But Colin is different. And even if Colin wasn't a Bridgerton, I still think he would be that. You know, I mean, growing up in that family, like money aside, Colin would just be that kind of dude, right? So I think she's starting to realize that it's not, security isn't everything. But I think that the rainbow clue specifically is about it's a foreshadowing of Portia's fortune. Portia's going to be clear. She's going to end years of strife. It's almost like she got a psychic reading playing charades. But looking at the bow clue, I think we get, if we look at it like Pall Mall, how each wicket meant something, I think that the clues mean something. And this clue might be telling us that Cressida never finds a love match. Never gets married. She might find a love match, but she just may not.
The rainbow thing just kind of made me wonder whether they're, because obviously historically now rainbows represent
LGBTQ,
the alphabet. And I did wonder whether it could have been a foreshadowing. Well, one, because they kind of go from this to then within, you know, the next minute of like if I skip down, I've got it.
Well, yeah, the next clue is Benedict's up there and its name.
But where okay, here it is. So this is when they're talking about Lady Whistledown. I'm just going to skip to this one part to give it. Benedict chimes in that Whistledown is the vulgar one, though the ton could use a bit of vulgarity, which makes Lady Tilly like rather pleased. Like she's ready to corrupt him in her ways. And so that sort of, those kind of clues sort of went together for me. Not clues, but like, it was a bit of foreshadowing for me that the rainbows were on their way for Benedict.
Yeah, I think that rainbow was used also as a whole. The word as a whole was meant for, so like the word as a whole was foreshadowing about what we were going to see in the next few episodes, right?
Yes, yeah.
The clues all add up to Portia. Yeah. The bows, I think, are foreshadowing that Cressida is not going to get married.
Yeah. So
let's just like in Pall Mall, we have multiple Easter eggs in Pall Mall. So I think they were going to use this game similarly.
It'd be quite fun when we get to see the next season to see kind of what things we've cut, like the far-fetched things that we have said, how many of them weren't so far-fetched after all. But anyway, let's talk about Eloise and Cressida. So Eloise gets up looking really pissed off and walks away. Penelope watches. Cressida follows after. She approaches Eloise super eagerly saying, "Do you want to hear my plan?" Like this girl was so excited that she's like thought up an out for herself. And Eloise clearly looks like she has no idea what Cressida is on about, because Cressida has to follow up with to avoid marrying Lord Greer. Like, Eloise at least has the audacity to seem embarrassed that she didn't know what she was speaking of. And she says, of course. But like, you can tell that even Cressida is like, girl, there is more going on in this world than just you. This is not Eloise's world. It is not Eloise's town. It is the ton. Okay? This is Grosvenor
Right.
Square, not Eloise Square.
Yeah,
Get over yourself.
Mayfair.
Yeah. Fair to all, not just Eloise.
Yeah, for real.
Cressida lays out a plan to live in Vienna and living off the earnings from unmasking Whistledown. Eloise actually scoffs. And this is when Cressida finally starts losing it with her friend, saying sternly, Eloise, do you not care that I'm being forced to marry a man thrice my age, which I know... Oh no, lost all my notes.
Now you're throwing your microphone.
Now I'm losing. Oh no, lost everything.
Well, what was your thought process?
There we go. Okay.
I have an Eloise thought process for this interaction.
No. I know that Cressida is not very good at math, but thrice her age, let's put her at 18 years of age at this point. Maybe 19 at best, but I'm gonna just...
She came out with Daphne. She's straight up 20 or...
No, because Daphne came out when she was younger. Not as young as Penelope, but I think she was 17 when she came out. So that would make her 19 to 20.
Well, weren't we saying that the show had you come out at 18 because Pen had to be 17 and she came out a year
18,
early?
19, 20. Okay, so let's say 20.
So yeah, she's 20. So he's 60.
That would make him 60.
Looked 90.
He is not 60. And I said, this dude's at least 4 times her age. Like, I would put him at like 75-ish.
Yeah.
Was my guesstimation.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't know. I wonder how old the actor is. I'm curious now.
But like, when you think about it, there's a lot of famous men who are in their 70s who are with
Richard Durden.
I wonder.
He's 81 years old. Girl, he is quadrice your age. Quadrice.
Quadruple.
I know. I just like saying quadrice because
thrice.
I think she said thrice just because it sounds good rolling off the tongue, to be honest.
Thrice is the correct grammar. She could have said 3 times, but
no.
thrice.
No, that's what I'm saying. Thrice is a fun, I don't know why. Thrice. It's a fun word to say.
Yes, but it is correct grammar in that sentence.
Yes, he is quadrice. Thank you. Quadrice being the correct term. Because it's also fun to say quadrice.
Yeah.
New vernacular coming out here.
So say what Eloise says next, and that plays into my thought process.
Eloise says, of course I care, and I would much like to shout at your parents if I thought it'd make any difference. But as much as I would love to see Whistledown finally explode, you'll never find her. Cressida, who is truly sick of being underestimated, asks, do you not think I'm clever enough? Not that part? Okay, I'll keep going.
No, it was, you already said it. But
okay, sorry.
I'm trying to play into how to say it. And the thing is it's not necessarily, well, yes, Eloise is condescending and she does not think Cressida is clever enough. And yes, Cressida outed Whistledown, but she stumbled upon it. She is not clever. Well, okay, we'll just call a spade a spade.
You go.
But my whole thought process here with Eloise, as I rewatched it today, I kind of got this, my intuition, kind of, my spidey senses.
Yeah.
Like, because we've talked about this before, how Eloise is all talk. Penelope said it to her at the end of season 2. Cressida says it to her later in the Romancing Mr. Bridgerton episode. Mm-hmm. And so they are seeing something of her that is, they believe is, because it's directed at them, it's negative, right? Mm-hmm. But if we look at her and what she's been through, I think that really this is Eloise's belief system. And I think the reason she has become who she is, where she is very vocal about social justice, but she's only vocal, she doesn't act on it, is because her trauma,
because she comes
is
from privilege.
That too. But her trauma, as we look back at everybody's trauma in losing their father and how that played out, Eloise feels hopeless no matter what. She couldn't have done anything. He got stung by a bee and died. You know what I mean? Like, there was nothing she could have done, no matter how smart she was. There was no knowledge at that time of how to.
She's just a woman and she holds no power.
And yes. And then watching her mother go through what she did and how terrible that was, she was helpless. There was nothing she could do to fix it. to help. And being a woman, being told she couldn't fence, being told she couldn't go to school, all this stuff. So she is now, after all these years of dealing with all of this, she can talk, but she doesn't feel like she can do. She feels impotent to being able to fix or help a situation.
Silly question for you. Season 1, when Violet is being told, well, the doctor is actually not talking to her at all and instead talking to Anthony about whether he wishes to save the baby or Violet. Did baby want to be in the corner?
Hyacinth does not want to be in the corner.
Hyacinth is no one's baby.
Hyacinth is not waiting for Patrick Swayze. She just is plain going, nobody puts baby in the corner. Gareth tries to come up and she pushes him aside and says, nobody puts me in the corner.
She would be Ferris Bueller at like 1000%.
Yeah.
Not even the sister in it, because obviously Jennifer plays both baby and the sister in Ferris was Day Off. But yeah, she's definitely, or even Bueller's girlfriend. She is also quite the little firecracker of hilarity. One of my favorite movies of all time, to be honest. Was Violet do we actually know? Did Violet want to save herself or Hyacinth, or was it more that she just wanted to be able to make the choice herself and not put that kind of emotional turmoil on Anthony that he would feel that either he has killed his mother or his sister? There was so much happening in that scene that I don't actually...
Yes, I don't think Violet was thinking about herself or the baby necessarily, because I think if Violet made the choice herself fully, because she knew how she felt, and I think Violet's had enough kids that at that point she knew more than the doctor, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So in that moment, I don't think it even crossed her mind that the baby and her were in danger at all. I just think it was a bad labor due to stress. Her body's not relaxed, her hips aren't relaxed, she just lost her husband. Think about where trauma sits, right? It sits in your hips. So I just think she was having a rough...
Trauma sits in my butt.
It sits in your hips.
Tell that to my nervous belly, hey.
Well, it manifests in other ways, but if you release it, like if you do hip flexor exercises and stuff, it releases trauma, and then everything else, like, I don't say miraculously fixes, but it helps. Yeah. Somatic exercises or whatever.
Yeah.
But says the girl who's literally tried everything. But I think that Violet, it never crossed her mind. Like, she knew she was safe. She knew the baby was safe. It was just painful, and it looked bad to the people who have never experienced that pain before.
Yeah.
So A, she wanted to be able to make the decision herself, and she knew Edmund would let her. B, she didn't want to be wrong and give Anthony the respect that they were asking of him, like, because it looked very disrespectful that she was trying to manipulate her son in that moment, the way it kind of appears, right? So she doesn't want Anthony to make the choice and her be wrong.
I don't think that anyone
should
I don't think that anyone should ever blame a woman with what she doesn't. Well, I mean, within reason, but like within reason, like labor is physically
but I mean, they were acting like
state.
The wailing woman who was in pain wasn't even in the room, which was annoying.
Yes.
But I don't think she did not want the burden of that put on her son who just watched his father die.
Yes.
If she was wrong. I think she knew if she got to make the decision, she would try to have the baby, because I think she knew, because she could feel everything. She knew her body. She'd done this before. I think she believed everything was going to be okay, but she couldn't express that to a male doctor. And she needed Anthony to trust her, because she was worried if she was wrong, she wanted to be wrong. And she didn't want Anthony to feel guilty the rest of his life for either losing the baby or losing her. Because either way, if she was wrong, one of them died. Either way, Anthony was going to have that added stress. That's my opinion. What's yours?
I think
you asked me this silly question, so you got to answer it too.
It wasn't a silly question. It was a question
you called it one.
It was a silly question, as in it isn't anything to do with what we're talking about, but it just came to my mind. And
we're so tired of talking about the engagement party. Our brains are coming up with other things for dopamine.
I'm just sick of I'm sick of Violet being a managing mama. I'm sick of Eloise being a brat. She's a terrible friend in this episode. Like, there's just
she is only seeing the nose on her face. Like, she can't see beyond her own stuff. at all.
I think that Violet was protecting Anthony in that moment. Like, she did not want him to hold the responsibility and therefore potentially the guilt for the outcomes that had nothing to do with him. She wasn't willing to put that. She had already thrust an entire lifetime of responsibility on her child that she, I'm sure, feels guilty about. I'm sure she does not want her child to have the burden of his father at 17 years of age. So I think that that's why she took that one decision from him, not because she was trying to manipulate him, but trying to save him from yet another emotional burden.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eloise, who is trying to cover up her blunder with another blunder by saying that even she could not unwhistle down. And Cressida absolutely picks up on this jab.
She's like, really?
Because she's like, oh, and you think yourself so, like, to be so much smarter than I. Eloise is in fine form tonight because she tells her friend that she cannot deal with it tonight, as if her problems are truly greater. I like Eloise, but this episode, she is just an awful friend to everyone involved. She's just
she basically
and an awful sister,
to
be honest.
She gaslit. She was like, "You're dramatic. I can't deal with you right now. Like,
she
my
literally
stuff's
made this
more
entire night
important
about
than you."
herself.
Yeah,
like we want to shit on the
everybody.
Queen.
Everybody does that at this party.
Yeah,
except
but
for Penelope.
Like, we want to shit on the Queen for interrupting the wedding. And yes, that was worse because it's their wedding. But engagement party, like,
Portia's trying to steal the limelight. Eloise is creating chaos.
Violet's not even supporting Penelope. Violet, this is your new daughter-in-law, and you were not even by her side supporting her, guiding her through. You're too interested in getting your wick wet, madam.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And I wonder whether she is avoiding Penelope because she doesn't want Eloise to see her, and she's taking a side without taking a side, and doesn't want to be involved in it because of the whole thing with last season. And it's like, step up, mum.
Well, look at the engagement announcement when they realized the look on Eloise's face. She had been holding Pen's hand the whole time, and she takes her hand back like, whoops, I got busted.
Yes.
Like, Eloise is the cancer in the room. Like, she is just causing, because she can't forgive Pen then. And I think if she would have forgiven Pen by the engagement party and seen reason by then, Colin would have never been as bad as he was finding out about Whistledown.
No.
But Eloise
I feel like
held on.
Eloise fueled that fire.
Yes, because if you look at it from a logical standpoint, so put yourself in Colin's shoes, right? You find out that Penelope's Whistledown. Yes, you know that she was in a room with Eloise for however long before she left that night. So it looks like her and Eloise are in cahoots. But now you realize Eloise has known this whole time. This is why Eloise was mad. Eloise really mad. Like, I don't even want her in my house mad. So instead of thinking that Pen had good intentions, that he never looked at Whistledown as Penelope going in with good intentions, but just making mistakes. Like, everybody at this party,
I wanted to see actual communication between the two, not just Colin's apology, but an actual conversation. Instead it's a drunken screamed and then kiss and all is better kind of a situation instead of,
and
I did this to protect your sister.
That scene,
I did tell you about Marina. I did tell you. You weren't listening.
I will go back. I will go back in the Bridgerton's Facebook group and find my rescripting for that episode. Because,
I feel like we needed an actual conversation around this, not just kissing. It's all better.
But he made a lot of conclusions, and I think that's where his entrapment line comes from, because he cannot wrap his head around Whistledown, like Penelope purposely saying the things she said about his family, about her family. Like, he's always seen Penelope as family. Like, how could she say these things and not once thought maybe it was good intentions gone awry? Because that's what everybody's experiencing at this party. Portia, she's trying to draw attention to herself, but it's in a way to align herself with the Bridgertons and make the best of this situation that she's worried about ruining because of Dundas, that whole fraud thing. That's good intentions gone awry. Eloise with Cressida, because she's focused on something else, she's trying poorly to be a decent friend. Good intentions gone awry. The Bridgertons are good intentions gone awry all the time. And I think that if Eloise hadn't have dug her heels in for so long and held a grudge for so long, Colin would never have looked at it like Penn was malicious, even for 1.5 seconds. But because of how mad Eloise was, he took how Eloise reacted to mean that it's worse. Instead of asking Penn outright and getting her thought process, he had to get drunk to do that. He was choosing to, and in a way it shows loyalty, but he was siding with Eloise without even knowing Eloise's true feelings about it yet. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even ask Eloise, tell me what you know. How did you find out? What do you think happened here? You know, he's making assumptions.
They didn't even have to show us the whole conversation. Like, if they showed us Eloise going into the room and be like, let's sit down and talk this out, and then we see the conclusion at the end. Like, we didn't need to see the whole dialogue, because I do understand that would take up a lot of screen time. You could have given us context clues to show us that a conversation had actually been had about it in order to give us some sort of clarity.
Like, personally, I think in this scene, this would be the perfect time for Colin to truly find out about Whistledown. Not in front of everyone.
No, but
not in
straight after the Cressida reveal.
Let's say Cressida reveals and she faints. Okay. Yes. Everybody's hovered around her. Then Kate ushers people out. Okay, party's over. And they get Penelope into, like, up on the settee. People are gone. They're arranging. So the only people left in the room are Colin and Eloise. And it comes out then.
Where would I have actually? Okay. So this is, I'm jumping many, many, many scenes here. But seeing as you're talking about Penelope fainting and whatnot, this is the scene when they begin talking about Whistledown, right? And Penelope is like mid build up to a panic attack at this point, staring at this clock in the looming knowledge that Colin's going to leave her. He has just said the line that
no chance of marriage.
Chance of marriage. And so she gets up and excuses herself from the room, and Colin sculls back his drink, then goes to go follow her. And I wonder whether he goes to follow her with the question. And this is why I think he sculls his drink. I think he thinks that she's about to tell him that she's pregnant. And he's like, okay, gotta scull my drink. Yep, we can do this. We're going to rush this wedding forward. I think that with the fact that she's been anxious all evening, he is very perceptive to her anxiety. He is very well aware of it. He knows something is up. And then when she faints, I think he thinks that she's pregnant.
I think he thinks she might be pregnant because of the lemonade earlier and everything.
And then her behavior on top of it. And the fact that she was sick for days.
But I think he thinks she can't do this. Like, this is all too much for her. She doesn't have the same feelings. Because remember, this is insecure Colin. And he says, if your feelings are not what they were in the carriage, that's okay. Yeah. Right. So I think when she left the room and he thought she was going to throw him over, or that she wanted to, he was going to go have a private conversation with her and allow her to end the engagement privately. Because I think he thought that's what she wanted. And he was going to give her a private moment to do that. Or he was going to be like, but what if you're with child, and explain it to her in case she hasn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that we're at an hour 45 at this point. I think that we maybe 13 minutes before I've got to leave. So I reckon we can fit in the Fran and John story and then cap it off.
Let's end with Fran and John there.
Okay, so Francesca and John reapproach their family now that it is only Anthony, Kate, and Violet, the people whom he should have been formally introduced to at the beginning. The host and hostess, the side quest hostess,
dowager,
the dowager hostess, side quest hostess,
the dowager viscountess. Yeah, those 3. He should have already been introduced before that whole story business.
So these are the people that should have been the formal introduction in the beginning. And because keep in mind, people, that this is John's formal introduction to Anthony, which is the person that they need the permission from. So, of course, there is a lot of pressure on both of them. And I think that Anthony can kind of pick up on it too, because he's actually being very thoughtful. Yes, very thoughtful and aware of the fact that these are both 2 awkward little sausages, 2 peas in an awkward pod. And I think he's aware of the fact that he can't just go in with his strong tactics, because his sister is not frail, but like, you have to take a more gentle approach with Francesca than his other siblings. So I at least appreciate that he does know his siblings enough. And I think he's also in kind of protective mode. And this is his opportunity to be like, let them shine, let their love shine. See, mum, shut up. This is what this feels like to me. Like, he's letting them do their own thing. and letting them shine the way that they need to for Violet to
letting them
understand.
pave their way, figure it out.
Yeah. Follow the yellow brick road. I'm so excited for that new movie. It's great. So Kate, ever the fine hostess, asks John if he's enjoying his evening. He seems far more relaxed now, but he still looks at Fran, who looks back at him so sweetly as if she has all the love, patience, faith in him, and he kind of steals himself and retries his earlier story. Like, he just, like a little Colin moment, he's like, I just need to sap up a little bit of sunshine. Just let me recharge quickly. Yep. I looked at Fran long enough. I've recharged. I can do this. Like, that's, to me, like, he gets his energy and his, like, not
well, and here's the thing. I think Violet is projecting herself onto Fran.
Yes.
And she views Fran as more of a wallflower than she is. Fran is very quiet. She is very introverted. But Fran has Daphne's steel back.
Yes.
She walked into that debut, looked around, was scared for all of 0.5 seconds, steeled herself, and walked down that aisle.
She's very pragmatic.
She is very pragmatic. She's handling this party with ease. And where
because she's no longer the diamond of the season. She's no longer the center of attention.
But where Violet sees that Fran needs somebody to pull her out of her shell, I think in this moment we realize that John is even further in a shell, and his love of her helps him become a better man, and he is pulled out of his shell for her. So it's still a good match.
Yes.
They are a good match.
Yes. And you can see how much more at ease that she is in a party setting, because she's no longer just on the wall by herself. She is interacting, but in the very small doses that she likes, in a way that is comfortable
and
for
with
her.
the safe people.
The safe people. So I think that you can't ask someone to be an extrovert when they're an introvert, but you can say, hey, you can still mingle with the people who don't overwhelm you, and this is exactly what she does. So I really appreciate her relationship with John and how it gives her just enough push, and same for him. I think they need that with each other. So he's still clearly nervous, but he goes on, and as he talks, the more confidence he gains, as he can kind of see they're being perceptive to it, if that makes sense. The way that John tells the story actually brought a wee bit of a tear to my eye. I hate what Jess Brunel is doing to this story, because these two truly love each other, and you can tell that Violet can finally see it in this scene too. She can see that her daughter is being loved and worshipped the way that she deserves, the way that any mother should be happy for her child to be loved, but instead, and I thought that this episode was a turning point for them.
Yes.
And then she goes back to the way that she's like, are you kidding me, Violet? Sort it out. Like, I really thought in this episode, like, Violet finally understands
I think Violet was turning the corner, but the conversation she had with Danbury about how the queen really is that mad, like,
gain some backbone, Violet. You are a dowager,
because
one of the most powerful.
The queen wanted Samadani, and I think that she just doesn't want to have a third child thwart the queen.
But the queen is happy as long as you give her something else, if that makes sense.
Yes, she needs a new dopamine source.
Name your child, your first child after it, and be like, because of you, I know you wanted me to marry Samadani, but because of what you did and the attention you thrust upon me, I was able to marry John, and we've given our firstborn child your middle name in honor. She'd be like, there's my diamond. Like, you don't have to go that far. But
not
you know
even that.
Just give her something.
There's enough Bridgertons, and they know enough people. They could just help create or spread a scandal that would keep her busy by finding it and whistle down.
She just wants to be entertained, people. Like, just give us something. Just don't ignore her, which is what you're doing.
She's living a rough life, and she needs some dopamine.
Queen is pissy, not necessarily because she was thwarted. At least Daphne and Simon went to her on their own accord and argued their case and were honest with her.
Edwina advocated for Anthony.
Advocated, so she was okay with it. The queen is pissy because here's this girl who I gave so much to, and now she's just going to ghost me as if I'm some unwanted boyfriend. Girl ain't texting me back, and it's rude. She blocked me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be mad too if I was the queen. If I was basically sponsoring someone and they were like, you're not good enough. You're not very good at this. I will do it on my own. But I'm not going to talk to you about it, even though I need your permission to marry him. Like, I'd be a bit petty about that too. But anyway, John, the way that he talks about Francesca and the love that he immediately saw in her, the fact that he saw a kindred spirit, that he knew that she was everything that he had ever wanted and needed. It is not, she was pretty. It was not, oh, she plays music well. It was, I saw her soul and she saw mine. And we fell
Well,
in
and
mutual
what's
love.
awesome is in all of the Bridgerton stories, really, the one trope we don't have is love at first sight.
Mhm.
And the way he tells this story, he saw her straight away.
Yeah.
It was love at first sight for him. So we get our love at first sight trope.
Well, and you can tell that when he goes to approach her in front of the fire pit, you can tell he was looking for her. I think he had seen her across the ballroom, but she had been overwhelmed in there. He saw, oh, she's overwhelmed being in spaces. I will wait till she is alone where we can bond one-on-one and not be forced to be something because of the eyes of the ton. We can just be ourselves together.
Well, I think he also knows, like, he's not good in even quasi, like, he's like 3 people or less. You know what I'm saying? 3 people or less. So I think he was watching her until he could catch her alone or maybe only talking to one other person.
Yes.
So that he could have, in his mind, I don't think he's so much shy as he is, like, he wants to be heard and he wants to have good conversation. Like, he doesn't seem a small talk kind of guy.
No.
He's very thoughtful in his words.
Yes.
Everything that comes out of his mouth is very sweet and well thought out. So I think that he just is very much that Tismy person that doesn't want to talk about the weather or the flavor of punt or any other dumb thing you talk about at a ball.
To make this metaphor, I always say, I don't want to be eating calories unless they're worth my time. He doesn't want to be saying words unless they're worth his time.
Exactly. He's like that movie. What's it called? Like 1,000 Words or something like that. I think it's Eddie Murphy or something.
Dark chocolate. Don't even try. You are not worth the calories, sir. Wait, it's not a metaphor for anything. I don't like dark chocolate. I was like, wait, I'm taking the metaphor too far. No.
Coconut. No coconut. Walk away. I'm not wasting calories on you. Not at all.
Yeah.
But will I eat 2 blocks of fudge in one sitting as we're talking? Yes, I will.
So Violet does seemingly give John a break by acknowledging the love in this moment in the way that she speaks without truly speaking and saying what she wants to. Like, she's not saying.
I love Anthony's face in this scene because he
says nothing.
He loves a love story. You can see it now. He loves love because he's in love.
I don't think it's even just that. I think he loves thwarting his mother so badly. And Anthony and Kate say nothing. But as John walks past Anthony gives his mum a look like, see, they are in love. Leave them be.
Well, yes, he's looking at her then. But I mean, while John's telling the story, he is enthralled. He loves a good love story. And he's like, oh, Fran's going to be in love just like me.
And I think that this was the sister that he probably worried about more than he leads on because of how introverted and how much she loves spending time with Aunt Winnie. Like, she loves to be alone. And so he's like, how is she going to cope with? And I think that's why he gave her the space, early on in the season where he's like, okay, you're overwhelmed. Go take some space on your own. And so when she finds someone who acknowledges that need for space and time and quiet, he's like, yeah, this is it. This is the perfect match, my sister. So I just.
Well, and if you think about it, she is that bridge child. Like, think of the age she was when Edmund passed. Like, she remembers Edmund as a father, but she also spent a majority of her childhood with Anthony in the father role also. It was like half and half. So I think
she was that crossover child.
She was that crossover child that he still feels fatherly toward, but in such a way that he can give her space because she was already formed, Yeah. Because she would have been, 9 or 10?
I think we discussed that Eloise was about 9, so she'd have to be 8. I think we discussed that.
Yeah, because we said Colin was 12, Daphne would have been 8, 11. 11.
Yeah.
That puts Eloise at 9, 10, and she'd be 8, 9. Because they're like all 18-ish months apart, something like that.
Most of them, except for the older ones. Yeah.
Well, Fran and Eloise are the same birthday 1 year apart.
You know why it is? Because your first kids are your hardest because you're learning how to be a parent. And then the next ones, you just learn to care less and less. Did my friends leave their sleeping child in a rainstorm and not know for a second the other day? And I moved the baby under the top. And then like 10 minutes later, they come to check on the baby and they were like, oh, it's raining. And I'm like, I moved the baby. It's fine. Third child. Third child. Oh, poor baby.
Funny.
For today, gentle listeners, we will leave it there and continue on next week's episode, where I will still be screaming justice for John. If you have anything in particular you would like us to cover, or any Bridgerton knowledge you would like to share, please head to our Facebook page, The Ladies Bridgerton. And if you're enjoying our podcast, please remember to click like, subscribe, and leave comments wherever you are listening. Additionally, we are only weeks away from where Patty would potentially have to buy her Black Friday. When is Black Friday? I actually have no idea because I'm not American.
Thanksgiving is the 27th. So Black Friday is the 28th. So that weekend, usually there's deals the whole weekend, Monday. Okay. I'm thinking ticket prices are going to be the cheap then.
So we have roughly until the end of the month to raise the funds for Patty's flight over to New Zealand so that we can record all the content you could ever desire for part 2 of season 4. Of instead of Debbie does Zealous, it's Benedict does Bridgerton.
Benedict does Mayfair.
Well, I was trying to Debbie does Zealous. What would be Benedict Bones Bridgerton?
Benedict Bones the Bon Ton.
The Bon Ton. Yeah, because Benedict Bones Bridgerton just sounds a little bit insane.
Like his own siblings, really?
Well, I mean, that's a whole different category.
That's not in the LGBTQ like lettering. That's something completely different. That's not a trope I think they're going to go down.
That's in the Greek alphabets right there. Okay, so yes, we have to the end of the month to raise the funds for Patty to get over her flights to New Zealand. So if you would like to help us to fulfill that dream, and also help me have another person to wrangle die with, we're gonna need all the lassos available, people. All the lassos. Yeah. She's a wild kangaroo.
If you want to see a video on YouTube of us playing Bridgerton Mash with Di, because I've decided that has to happen, please donate. The link is in our Facebook group pinned, and on every post we've done with the updates, it's on there as well. It's at buymeacoffee.com. Tosh the Kiwi and Lady Patty is our titling on there. But yeah, you can also help us by liking, sharing, commenting on our YouTube stuff, YouTube videos. Share them, like, comment. We are growing. We're at 109 subscribers now.
We need 400 for
500
to monetize on
but YouTube. We're more than halfway there into watch hours. So yes. Our watch hours are great, and we need more interaction and engagement on YouTube so that it gets pushed out. The algorithm will push it out to more people, and that'll help us grow our subscribers.
Like us. You really, really like us. Then click like and subscribe.
That's the free way of helping.
Because
not necessarily get me to New Zealand now, but
just
it could help in the future.
Yeah.
Help us grow.
Pepple.
I guess I want to thank you for listening to the musings of two mad women. Apparently,
you sound so enthusiastic.
Sorry, I never know.
Sorry,
there's no real segue there.
Today's terrific tangents. Yours truly, Tosh the Kiwi
and Lady Patty.